We're covering all of the rookie classes in the NFL. Our last video, we talked about running backs, and in this episode, we are ranking our top 10 wide receiver rookie prospects heading into next season. Now, this list, I'm sure, is probably going to be a lot more diverse than the running back one, because a lot of these wide receivers are playing at least somewhat meaningful snaps for a lot of teams. For running backs, it's either you are or you aren't. There's like 5 that really will, then a couple shots. Wide receivers, there's probably like 15, 20 receivers that are like borderline sneaky draftable.
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead and start and give my list. I feel like at the top, I was kind of chalk. Number 1, I have Tet.
Easy.
Tetairoa McMillan for Carolina. I think he has chance to be the wide receiver 1 there. Xavier Legette, we know they drafted in the first round last year. They really like him. You know, the whole basically fan base is obsessed with him. Guy eats raccoons. But I think McMillan is a much better receiver. Yeah. He's like the perfect body type too. That's going to get Bryce Young out of a lot of trouble. He can kind of just throw it up and catch it. I think they're going to feed him targets, and I think undoubtedly number 1 in my mind. Number 2, I have Travis Hunter. I think they are going to feature the hell out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a player they're going to try to justify drafting, it's Travis Hunter, and the only way to justify drafting him is to put the stats up to back it. Like, they did not trade away next year's first-round pick to not force-feed Travis Hunter the way that Colorado did, to make him look like the Heisman. So strictly for that reason, that and the fact that, you know, he's with Trevor Lawrence in a pass-heavy Liam Cohen offense with Brian Thomas and, you know, Travis Hunter. I mean, this is just going to be an offense that throws the ball a shitload. Yeah. He's going to try to do what explosive Ben Johnson-esque offenses do. And, yeah, Travis Hunter at 2. Number 3, Mike, you're going to like it. Matthew Golden, number 3. I think he actually is one of the only receivers, similarly to Tet. I think Tet's like very likely number 1. I think Matthew Golden, by week 6, can be wide receiver 1 on that team. I mean, the Packers have been struggling to find a true wide receiver 1 option for like 4 or 5 years now. I think 3 or 4 years, ever since Devontae Adams left. And if you look at this depth chart, I mean, I scrolled through it. I was like, honestly, there's no reason Matthew Golden can't be the wide receiver 1. He's the highest drafted receiver on this entire depth chart. They spent the first-round pick on him, and they have Jordan Love, who's like up and coming. He needs a star. Matthew Golden's the fastest receiver in the class. He could definitely put up some good numbers. Would not be shocked if at the end of the year they just decide he's wide receiver 1 and he ends with the most fantasy points of any rookie receiver.
Yeah.
If Jordan Love's just like true wide receiver 1 target, it's better than being, you know, Jacksonville wide receiver 1 target or Carolina wide receiver 1 target.
Yeah.
Number 4, Trey Harris. Ladd and Trey are for sure wide receivers 1 and 2. I know Mike Williams got re-signed. I'm not worried about Mike Williams at all.
Mikey Williams
Played 3 games and, you know, tears pelvic.
I love Mike
abductor.
Williams, Clemson product. It's a little past his prime. Trey Harris is a beast. I think that he fits perfectly and complements Ladd too. Trey Harris can be that like bigger receiver, go up, get the ball. Yeah, be the X. Ladd's going to do a lot of volume. So I think Herbert's going to be really happy not only with Trey Harris, but Omarion in the backfield too. And the way Harbaugh's going to run this offense. Number 5, Emeka. He's just going to take Chris Godwin's role. I think, you know, Godwin's hurt. We don't know if or when in the season he's going to come back. He's just going to be opposite of Mike Williams. I think he's a higher volume guy, really good for PPR. And I think he's also a super talented receiver. I mean, there were a lot of talks about him being the best receiver in the class if you go back a year before Jeremiah Smith came on the scene and stole 100% of the hype from Emeka. A little light got shined on him after the combine. But next, I have Luther Burden in Chicago. Don't like Chicago. But Ben Johnson. You cannot overstate how much Ben Johnson loves drafting and featuring players. Apparently, he's obsessed with Colston Loveland. I know we're not doing tight ends, but like that was his darling of the draft. Like considering trading up to get him. And he also is obsessed with Luther Burden. In his press conference, he's like, you know, we don't need to explain much. This guy's a bona fide superstar. He can make every catch. So I would not be surprised, even though they have DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, who they spent a top 6 pick on. That was not a Ben Johnson draft pick in Rome Odunze. So I don't think he's going to be as attached to that as some teams are to their first rounders. I think Luther Burden could very well take the wide receiver 2 spot there. Next one, I know it's kind of a reach, but I have Eric, I don't know how the hell to say it. Ayamanor. Elick. Yeah. Elick Ayamanor. One of my favorite receivers, a Stanford product. I know there's a lot of receivers ahead of him in Tennessee. A lot of receivers ahead of him in Tennessee. You have Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, who they just signed, Treylon Burks, and then Van Jefferson, who they just signed as well. But I think there's something to be said about a rookie receiver and a rookie quarterback coming together in the same class. So if they're in the rookie minicamp right there, none of the other receivers are. I think they could potentially develop some chemistry. That may be something to look for towards the end of the season. I think he's super talented, could pop off. And last few, Jack Beck, Vegas.
Yes, my dog.
Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker, the receivers ahead of him, but obviously Bowers is going to take the target share there. I think Beck can be, Ryan's kind of put me on to watching some of his stuff. I think he can be a good wide receiver 2 option besides Jacoby Myers. Kyle Williams in New England. I'm sure Mario's going to touch on that later. That's been his darling. Stephon Diggs, the wide receiver 1 there, but every team Stephon Diggs is on, the wide receiver 2 absolutely cooks. Like, this is, copy-paste, whether you go to Buffalo, whatever.
Thielen, Jefferson.
Yeah, Thielen in the Vikings. And then last, Jaden Higgins, Houston. I don't think he does anything this year. Just want to throw that out there. They have 1 billion receivers ahead of him on this depth chart. Like, Jaden Higgins is, I think, wide receiver 5 or 6.
Really?
If you scroll down. Yeah. I pulled it up.
Because Tank's gone for most of the year. Woods is gone.
I can pull it up.
I think Higgins is going to be really good.
I think he's wide receiver 2 already.
Really?
Yeah, he's on my list.
So they just signed Christian Kirk.
What?
So they have him at wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 1's Nico. They have Tank Dell as wide receiver 3 on the depth chart right now.
But he's injured, yeah.
Then they have, I guess, Mechie and then Higgins and Noel.
Yeah.
So, I guess 4 or 5, whatever. But, or like 3 or 4, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think I put him in my 10 spot just because I think he can do well, super talented. I'm not sold that, I've been sold a lot of times that a Houston wide receiver that's young is going to get target share. And it just turns out to be one of the other young Houston receivers that ends up getting target share because they switch it every single year. So, yeah, there's my 10. A little mix up on some of the fantasy rankings, but not a whole lot of surprises.
Yeah, number 1 by a mile for me is Tet. It's really
let's go.
There's nothing to say. I mean, it's Tet. Like, number 1 draft.
I don't know if you agree with me there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Number 2, I have Emeka, just because I think he's in the perfect situation. The Bucs score like crazy. People don't really think about it. You don't think about the Bucs in offense, but they score out of their minds, and Baker chucks the ball every year. And I think Emeka is going to fit perfectly, whether Godwin's there, hurt, whatever's going on.
You think if Godwin's there, he still does well?
Still does really well. They did 3 wide receivers a lot, so I think they'll be fine. My number 3 is actually Jaden Higgins, because I think I know for a fact Tank Dell, they were even talking about he might miss this whole year. Like, they don't have no idea if it might be worth to hold him off, you know what I mean? Because it's such a gruesome injury. And then you have, like you said, Christian Kirk, kind of a bum. Who knows?
He's a bum.
Nico's up there. But then, like, Mechie's always hurt or all right. I think Higgins, you draft a guy, ride with him. My number 4 was Trey Harris. Nothing to say. Dog in Ole Miss. There'll be a dog on the Chargers. Deep ball threat. I love it.
For sure.
My number 5, Matthew Golden. More just for opportunity. I just don't see. In my opinion, Jordan Love's top 10 quarterback, so you put an offense at LaFleur, I think he'll be fine, do really well. Number 6, I have Jack Beck. I think Geno is a slinger, and pretty much I have no wide receivers on that team. And take out Brock Bowers. Jack Beck will be getting a lot of the balls. Number 7, I have Luther Burden. They got rid of Keenan Allen. You don't draft Luther Burden unless you need it, like you were saying with Ben Johnson. I think that's a really good connection. He'll throw to a bunch. They use a bunch of different packages. I love that. And then my honorable mentions. First one, Jalen Royals. Every time a Chiefs team drafts a wide receiver, Patrick Mahomes just abuses him amazingly. Every single year, it doesn't matter when it is.
Patrick Mahomes abuses him.
Correct. Abuses him.
Headline.
Use it. Abusing the Royal. And then my next mention, Ricky White III out of UNLV for the Seahawks. Seahawks just emptied house besides Jackson Smith. So I think he's going to come in. He was a dog at UNLV, and I think he'll do really well. My last honorable mention, Savion Williams from TCU.
That's a pull.
Speedster, giant. Packers, again, have no one. And I just think he could fill in, be a tall guy to throw, get rid of one of these other bums. That's my honorable.
They have so many wide receivers.
Exactly.
Mario, I'm going to go to you, and we'll get Michael last.
All right. Number 1 here, I actually have Travis Hunter.
I like it. You didn't have Travis Hunter on your list.
I know. I don't think.
So
wow. I think he's going to get bullied around.
I thought I was hesitant because I thought he would be starting more on the defensive side, but everything that I'm hearing is that he's going to be wide receiver first. Slowly, they'll work him into being a cornerback once he kind of starts learning the defensive playbook. I was tempted to go McMillan at 1, but I think Lawrence, in my opinion, still better quarterback, higher upside at quarterback, and I think just better overall offense than Carolina. Hunter, maybe hair not as talented at wide receiver specifically than McMillan, but I just think, like Tyler said, they're going to feature
They're
him.
gonna force
And I
the
also
speed,
love
yeah.
that, Brian Thomas will probably be getting a lot of attention, so he's going to be one-on-one a lot. I just believe at his height and speed, he's going to win a lot of matchups. So
Yeah.
I have him at number 1.
I like it.
Number 2 was really tough also. I was really tempted to go McMillan because I think just
Wow,
individually,
that's absurd.
I think individually he's the best receiver, but I just think this situation is better, and it's Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur, great offensive coach in my opinion. Jordan Love, I think either him or CJ Stroud, best receiver. Best quarterback on this list when we're going over receivers. Dude, they don't have a wide receiver 1. I actually truly believe like by week 2 or 3, Matthew Golden probably is just the wide receiver 1.
I'm in that boat.
So I think he's going to
in
get a
the
lot of
water.
opportunity, and it's a good offense. He's going to get a lot of good looks. Number 3, I got McMillan. I just think he's too talented not to be top 3, so I got him right here. Number 4, I have Kyle Williams. I just think
Whoa.
Drake May,
That's way up there.
dude, it's way up there. I actually think, in my opinion, he's like a top 6 receiver just like on talent alone, like just individually. And I
From
think
this class.
from this class, I think he's slept on. He might be like 5 or 6, but I think he's severely slept on. I think he goes ballistic this year. Stephon, yeah, he's there, but he's coming off an injury. He's really old. He probably won't be as explosive. He'll probably be more of like the insurance receiver.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Williams is going to be the X factor for throwing the ball. So I like him a lot. Next, I got Jaden Higgins. I think by middle of the year, I think he's wide receiver 2 on this team, without a doubt. Obviously, Nico Collins, as long as he's healthy, I think is going to be CJ's guy. But I think Higgins is just a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Absolute freak.
No, he definitely is.
I think he's too talented just to leave on the bench or not give enough plays. So after that, I got Trey Harris. You guys touched on him. He was a stud in college. I think he'll be a stud with Justin Herbert. Then I got Abuka next. I think he'll be solid. I don't think he goes crazy like he's the best receiver in this class, but I think he just
you and
puts
Ryan
up.
basically have opposite lists.
Yeah, but I think he's really good. Here's where I have a really hot take. I had to reach on something or like make a bold statement. So I'm going to call it right now. Xavier Restrepo, number 8. I think, listen,
Whoa.
I know Ayo Menor's on that team, but a 6'5 receiver in the NFL just historically doesn't really work out, excluding Calvin Johnson. It's just really tough for them to really make an impact. What you've seen recently is the slot receivers.
Slots.
I know they have Lockett, but I doubt Lockett's really going to do anything. He didn't do anything in Seattle. Cam Ward is going to have to develop some type of chemistry, and I think usually rookies like to develop chemistry with rookies.
And you don't think it's going to be Ayamenyor?
No, because I think
He's been
Ridley.
throwing to him all
Because I
year.
think Ayo Menor will just be covered most of the time. I don't think he can really separate. You could throw jump balls to
Yeah,
him.
he's already got the chemistry with Restrepo.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just really love that pick. Next, I'm going Luther Burden because I hate the Bears, but I think individually he's too good not to keep in the top 10. I think no matter what, he finds a way. I just think DJ Moore is the guy. And then the Bears' offense, in my opinion, just isn't very good. So.
Yeah.
And then number 10, I have Jack Beck. He could be higher on this list. I just wasn't really sure where to put him, but he had to be top 10. So
Wow.
Shout out
All
Jack
right,
Beck.
Mike, your top 10, and then I want to hear Ryan talk more about why you didn't have Travis Hunter.
So a lot of my rankings were based off of who the quarterbacks these receivers were going to be kind of paired with, because obviously you get no production if your guy who's throwing you the ball isn't, going to be able to get you the ball.
If it's Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but if they're studs, they're studs,
If you're a stud, you're a stud.
Yeah.
Number 1, to probably no one's surprise, is going to be Matthew Golden. I think he's probably the best route runner in this receiving class. I think he is an absolute
What?
He's not.
all-star, just stud of a Pro Bowler in his quarterback and Jordan Love.
Where do you play in college?
Hook 'em Horns, Texas, baby.
Oh, shit.
I think, he definitely has the ability to be, as good as, if not better than Romeo Dubes, who's the current wide receiver 1, I'm pretty sure.
I hope he's better than Romeo Dubes.
And I think,
won't
in the time getting there, he's proven that he's a really good slot receiver. So, if they put him in as that, wide receiver 3, or, I think he has versatility in his abilities. So, Matthew Golden is my 1. Number 2, This is banking off of what Tyler was saying in a really young to young connection. But again, big CJ Stroud guy. I'm gonna go Jaden Higgins here. I
had him at
he's-
10.
I know.
Oh,
But you were saying that whenever you bank on one like young guy being the productive one, it always ends up being the other one.
oh yeah.
You know, I think this is actually going to be Jaden Higgins. I think Jaden Higgins could end up being like CJ Stroud's like guy for this year. He definitely has the ability to do so, and he's in an offense that would allow him to like maximize his potential
Yeah,
there.
they throw that thing.
So I really like that. Next one is Emeka. I think Emeka with Baker Mayfield, a proven vet. You know, Baker's not the greatest quarterback that we have in the league, but he is a vet. He's done the job multiple times. He knows how to do it. And especially with that wide receiver 2 slot kind of open and like ready to grab, I think Emeka has, you know, he's a stud. That guy's a freak. So he could definitely fill in that role. Next, this is purely off of this receiver's ability because he is amazing. Tetro McMillan. I think Bryce Young is awful. I don't think that.
I forgot about your hate for Bryce
No,
Young.
I don't think
No,
he's
it's
going to be
been,
able
like,
to
months.
get. I don't think he's going to be able to get in the ball in any time.
He's too short.
Well, I think when like a
Kinda
play
like
is-
Matthew Golden?
No. I think when a play is actually being like drawn up for Tet, Bryce isn't going to be able to do those plays. Where he's going to find
What does
success.
that mean, though?
Where he's going to find success is when he's scrambling around and he has to just throw something up, and Tet has to just make a play and be phenomenal. Because you can't rely on Bryce Young
But what
to
does
do
it
to
mean
get
you
the ball
can't
there.
do those plays? Like what does that
He's
mean?
physically unable to because he
but what?
lacks the,
How? Like
What?
what
he
does
lacks
that
the talent.
But
But
what does
what?
that mean? Like he's
You're saying, oh, he won't do those plays. What are those plays? You can't just say like a
like
vague
what
thing.
type of play?
Yeah.
Like a successful pass. like
What is a successful pass?
Like he can't complete
screen?
passes in the NFL.
so he won't.
it's a rarity. It's a
Okay.
rarity for that guy.
I'm convinced you don't watch football.
I just don't
I
like
agree.
that
All right.
guy. Next, Travis Hunter. Gotta
What is
throw
that,
him in there.
6?
5.
Five.
Travis Hunter.
Crazy.
I think that he, in the beginning, will be playing a dual role. I think by the end of the season, he's going to be a cornerback. And I think he's going to be, you know, like 80-20, 85-15 cornerback. I don't think he's going to find success in doing both roles. And I think he's going to be getting slapped in the face when he does that. And halfway through the year, he gets absolutely torn to shreds. I just
Doesn't sound like a good
that's
year
my
for him.
personal
No,
prediction.
sounds like a really
So-
bad year to beat Travis Hunter.
Well, you know,
Left.
it is what
That's
it is.
number 5.
It is what it is. That's number 5.
I feel bad for 6.
Well, I trust Trevor Lawrence. You know, I think he's a great quarterback, and I think if he has a receiver who's open
Propaganda.
and he's able to, you know, make a play, I think he'll be able to.
One of the best of all time.
He'll be able to exploit defenses if Travis Hunter is, you know, putting him in a position to exploit and, you know, do things.
Okay.
Next, Trey Harris. Justin Herbert, another proven vet, massive arm. I think Trey Harris has the ability to kind of just go out there and be a better Mike Williams. So,
Not hard.
you know, here's to being a better Mike Williams.
That means just being able to suit up.
Catch the ball.
Well, you know, you guys said it, not me.
Be out there. Yeah, just
You guys said it, not me. And then lastly, but not leastly, certainly not leastly, Jack Beck. I think he's going to be taking a back seat in this offense because I think Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers are going to be the two superstars, the head runners, the forefront people, if you will, and the showrunners, the superstars, and, you know,
What are
and the
you
superstars
saying
and the
words?
showrunners.
yeah, and so I think he's going to be that wide receiver too, but it's going to be like a step back. But I still think in the
Who's the
grand
wide receiver
scheme
one on
of
that team?
Brock Bowers.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's that.
That was
That's
10?
That was 7.
That's it. It's just,
Oh, we're
no
stopping at
no
7.
honorable mentions.
No honorable.
Fair enough.
No,
Ryan and
no
Mike.
honor. No
I have
honor.
I have to point this question to you guys because Travis Hunter in PPR drafts for rookies is going 3 right now, behind Ashton Genty and Amarian Hampton. He's clearly the number 1 receiver by a long margin in like the expert rankings, or just the ADP among all the drafts done. You don't have him in your top 10,
Correct.
and you have him at 5. So I want you guys to just take a second. You can team up on it or you can take the floor. what are the Pro Football Focus fantasy guys and all the early drafters missing about Travis Hunter that they need to be aware of if he's clearly so far off of what he's being projected at?
My biggest thing is you can get away with being like on the smaller side or skinnier side in college playing against terrible defenses, especially when offenses are being featured towards you and mostly only you. And we saw it in many games, many fourth quarters, being up by 30, down by 30, it didn't matter. I see a world where I could be wrong, and because they're so shit, they just want to get sales and keep them on offense and kind of just, they win 4 or 5 games like they did last year, and they're just not good, and they just run them on offense. I could be wrong, but I think he could. I think he could be unbelievable as a cornerback. I really still believe that, like through and through. He's perfect size to be one of the an unbelievable quarterback, like Denzel Ward, 5'11", 190. Like Sauce Gardner, same thing. Like lengthy, not super huge, but like could be a really good cornerback. At wide receiver, I think he's just gonna get broken down every time. I think he's too weak. He's like 185. I just don't see it. He has speed, but like not blow your face off speed.
Not blow your face off.
No, not blow your face
not
off. So like
blowing my face off.
I see if they use him like fantasy purposes, but like top 10 as a true wide receiver, how their career will go as a wide receiver stats, I like my guys over him.
Someone who is really skinny though, who kind of is finding a lot of success, is someone like Devontae Smith, who's a little bit lighter than Travis. Travis obviously a little taller.
Taller for sure.
Both similar in their speed. What makes you think Travis won't be able to do it,
So
but
I think
Devontae Smith
I think
can?
Devontae Smith has unbelievably underperformed for how his draft, how he was rated, his Heisman, everything. He's been unbelievably underperformed.
Him and AJ Brown have to split, which does take a lot of targets away.
But I mean, so does like a lot of like T. Higgins, Jamar, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
I
Like
would say like Devontae Smith probably has better stats than those guys you named.
I don't think Devontae Smith has better stats than any of like
Than
his
T.
best year
Higgins?
versus T. Higgins.
It's probably not even
well,
close.
T. Higgins got hurt. I mean, if you take a
Just
stretch,
take T. Higgins' best year. He's
I'm
never
looking
gone
at-
for
I'm looking it
1,000
up. Keep
yards.
talking.
He's never gone for 1,000 yards.
what's Devontae Smith gone for?
I'm sure he's probably gone for 1,000 yards one time.
So I'm saying one time, and how many touchdowns?
Devontae Smith in 2021 when he was drafted as a rookie, 916 yards, 5 touchdowns. 2022, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. Next year, 1,066 yards, 7 touchdowns. Last year, 833 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was T.
I just looked up one. Give me a sec.
I was about to say, like, give me T's touchdowns one. So yeah, 1.4 yards. T murders.
T.
him.
Higgins, rookie year, 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. Then 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns.
There's a-
1050, 7 touchdowns. Then he got hurt last 2 years, 656 and 5. And then last year he was hurt as well, 911 and 10.
So he's never had 10 touchdowns. You said he's had 2 over 1,000 yard season. You said he's never been over 1,000 yards once.
Devontae's still better.
But I don't know what the.
I mean, I'm saying he went for, 12 or 1,300 yards?
they both went for over 1,000
They
yards.
actually have almost identical stats.
literally identical.
Yeah, very
So
similar
Devontae,
stats.
but
for
how many
receiver
Super
types.
Bowls?
But like T Higgins, what did T Higgins get drafted and
T.
what
Higgins
did
did
he?
score 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I just think
Pass interference.
Travis Hunter, unless Jaguars suck, which is very possible, and they just use
It's
them
not
for,
possible.
for money purposes. and
we'll do
just
a whole nother
fantasy
episode.
things, but I don't like. I'm not a big fan.
So are you thinking the same reason, or just because he played at Colorado, you're sticking him at 5?
I mean, not really because he just played at Colorado. I think he actually is very talented. I think he will make a really good cornerback, similarly to what Ryan said. But my whole thing is we've seen him in wide receiver position while getting force fed the ball against opposition that I think is, less than top tier. And you go into the league where every single defensive player that you're playing against is top tier. And you don't have an excuse, and you're
Have
not.
you seen the Titans?
Okay, fair. Given a couple exceptions, but like they're still in the NFL,
Or
and
even the
you're
Colts.
not going to be getting force fed. I just think teams are going to be able to have you in their actual game plan, and you're not going to be able to make a dent in that defensive scheming. Again, I think he's an unbelievable athlete, and I think he will do really well as a corner because he has, we've seen what he can do as a cornerback. He is lockups.
Against
he makes
subpar
amazing
competition, though.
No, he makes amazing
Yeah.
interceptions. He has an ability to make great plays on the ball in the air, all that good stuff. But
How's
as a
it both
wide
ways?
receiver,
Yeah.
and
because
He's playing the same teams. It's
Yeah,
not
but
like it's
they're-
different. Like it's the
What-
same
I mean,
game.
it's-
He's making a Great catch.
That's my problem with the takes is that always that when it's a receiver, he's playing against bad teams, but he's a super corner.
How can
it's
that
not
not
like
make
he's playing
sense?
against.
He could play 6 wide receiver ones playing shitty teams. He played Eric Allen-Mayer. He did get butt.
Got cooked by him.
got
But,
But I'm saying
Eric Allen-Mayer is
we're
bet-
talking about him playing.
He's
like,
way better as a wide receiver than Stanford is as a like defense against his offense. If that makes sense.
But he didn't. I mean, like, he's playing the same teams.
But you know what I mean? Like,
But like,
him,
if your
him
take,
locking up
if
a
your
wide
take
receiver
is
one,
specifically out of like the 12 games he played last year, there was like uniquely above average receivers he was guarding, and then uniquely terrible corners. That could be a take. But like when you're talking about just like general competition, like he's in a bad conference, he didn't play anyone. I mean, he's playing the same teams on both sides of the ball.
I'm saying like Miami's really good on offense, but terrible on defense. You could say you can have a take.
For like that team. So if you're saying like all of the teams he played were like that, that's
Yeah.
fair.
If you think
That's-
every single team you played was just like great offensively and terrible
majority
defensively.
teams, just like the ACC, I think the Big 12 is right around the corner. But yeah,
I mean, I don't think a lot of those Big 12 offenses are electric.
Yeah.
But
I think they are.
let us know what you think in the comments. Not just about Travis Hunter, but rookie wide receiver rankings. We're all over the place. I mean, Matthew Golden at number 1, Hunter number 1, Hunter not on the list, Tep number 1. I mean, this was literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think, and we're gonna be talking a lot more rankings and player reviews as we get closer to fantasy season, because it's of course the best time of the year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, fantasy football season is as
Oh,
good as it
yeah.
gets. Let us know what you think. Drop a subscribe if you're new here. Like the video, share with a friend. We'll see you on the next one.